As Stranger Things heads into its final season, it's poised to take over conversations around 3 major holidays this year. Netflix is rolling out the episodes in batches, starting on Thanksgiving, then dropping more on Christmas Day and New Year's Eve. The confusing approach may require a streaming guide for Stranger Things, but it matches the streamer's typical release cadence. Even so, Stranger Things offered a rare opportunity for the streamer to test a weekly rollout as a chance to see how the show might build momentum week after week. By sticking to the binge format everyone now expects, it limits the lifespan of Netflix's most-watched TV shows, and it's why they're losing the streaming wars. The Duffer Brothers pitched a weekly release for Stranger Things Season 5. It might sound unexpected now, but Matt and Ross Duffer actually pushed for Stranger Things Season 5 to roll out weekly, 1 episode a night. It seems they aren't fans of staggered batch drops. That approach just makes it harder for audiences to know when to show up. According to the Ankler, Netflix turned down the idea and stayed committed to its usual batch release method. Staggered batches, however, are relatively new for the streamer. Each of the first 3 seasons of Stranger Things arrived with all episodes on the same day, but Season 4 shifted to a split release in the summer of 2022, with its episodes divided into 2 drops, around 2 months apart. Netflix's masterpiece animated show, Arcane Season 2, followed a similar pattern, unfolding across 3 weekly batches of 3 episodes. That structure came close to mimicking a weekly rollout, although it still stopped short of the steady weekly cadence audiences associate with traditional television. Stranger Things' final season was Netflix's best opportunity to test weekly releases. This final season of Stranger Things would have been the ideal proving ground for a weekly experiment, and it's hard not to see the choice as a missed chance. Stranger Things is the show everyone will be watching and talking about, the kind of rare cultural event that could have sustained feverish discourse over several weeks. Outside a handful of K-dramas that air weekly on Netflix, the streamer stays firmly opposed to rolling out its originals 1 episode at a time. Those exceptions with K-dramas only happen because the shows aren't branded as Netflix originals. It's a partnership struck between Netflix and Korean networks. Meanwhile, other streamers have turned weekly releases into what traditionally was a strength. Apple TV has built its identity around that cadence, with shows like Severance, The Studio, and Shrinking unfolding 1 episode at a time. HBO Max leans on the same strategy, and its recent Sunday anchors, It, Welcome to Derry and Tim Robinson's The Chair Company, show how a week-to-week rhythm keeps a series present in the conversation. It makes Netflix's reluctance to try the traditional model feel even more puzzling. The binge-watch model is keeping Netflix from winning the streaming wars. Netflix. It's getting harder to call Netflix the best streamer when it refuses to evolve. The binge model felt novel in the early 2010s right as streaming took off because we were floored by the unbelievable convenience. It became a new identity for TV fans. Over time, though, the pendulum has swung in the other direction, and weekly releases feel far more digestible. Finishing a full season in a single weekend still has its perks, but that speed is exactly what diminishes a show's longevity. We burn through it, talk about it for a weekend, then move on while the long wait for the next season begins. Instead of discussing, the show, the immediate question fans want to know is the next season's release date. Discovering a new show feels harder than ever, and nothing disappears faster than a series designed to be consumed all at once. The batch cadence flattens the cultural footprint of nearly everything, but weekly releases build anticipation, they invite speculation, and they give audiences space to gather around the same questions. Shows like Doctor Who, Lost, and Supernatural contributed to the fandom emergence and become some of the best shows of the 2000s because fans consumed them over time, talking through theories as the stories unfolded week to week. Sure, fandoms still exist in pockets of the internet today, but it's difficult to sustain when the only thing left to speculate about after a weekend binge is what's next after the finale, that won't be revisited for years. Event television barely feels possible now, and yes, rolling out Stranger Things in batches over the holidays will pull plenty of families to the couch, but imagine a Thanksgiving premiere followed by a true weekly rhythm. The show would dominate the conversation for 8 weeks, well into January, extending its relevance beyond the holiday window. Instead, we're expected to stop and go, stop and go, stop and go.